Love and hip-hop has been turned upside down once again. Kendra's shocking pregnancy news has just been exposed, and instead of celebrating, young Jock completely lost his mind. Cameras caught every second of his explosive reaction, leaving fans stunned and cast members scrambling to calm the chaos. What should have been a private moment of joy quickly spiraled into one of the most dramatic blow-ups we've seen yet. Secrets, accusations, and tears are flying in. The fallout could change everything. The drama in the love and hip-hop universe never seems to slow down. And this time, it's young Jock and Kendra at the center of a storm that has fans glued to their screens. What should have been a happy moment, a pregnancy reveal, turned into chaos after it was exposed in the most shocking way possible. Instead of celebrations, there were tears, accusations, and one of Jock's most explosive meltdowns. Caught on camera, the day started off like any other filming day. Producers had gathered the cast for what was supposed to be a routine shoot about relationships, future plans, and upcoming projects. But behind the scenes, whispers were already spreading. Word had gotten out that Kendra was pregnant, and not just pregnant in a way that carried layers of tension. For months, the couple had been battling rumors, trust issues, and outside interference in their relationship. The news of Kendra expecting was supposed to be private until they decided the right time to share. But in true love and hip-hop fashion, secrets don't stay hidden for long. It all unfolded during a sit-down interview segment. Kendra walked in glowing with a new confidence in her step. Castmates noticed, and some even whispered among themselves, hinting that something was different about her. But before Kendra could open her mouth, someone from the crew slipped, making a casual comment about congratulations. That was it. The secret was out, and the cameras didn't miss a beat. The moment the words left the crew member's mouth, Jock's face changed. He went from calm and collected to completely blindsided. His eyes widened, his jaw clenched, and the energy in the room shifted instantly. "Wait, what? Congratulations for what?" Jock asked, looking around at everyone, then locking eyes with Kendra. The cast fell into an awkward silence, realizing something monumental was about to erupt. Kendra, realizing the secret was out before she had the chance to explain, tried to take control of the moment. She smiled nervously and said, "Yes, Jock, I'm pregnant. I was going to tell you differently in a private way, but now everyone knows." She placed her hands on her stomach, trying to soften the blow with her sincerity. But Jock wasn't hearing it. "Pregnant, Jock repeated, standing up from his chair in disbelief. His voice echoed through the set, and the producers looked at each other nervously, unsure if they should cut the cameras or let the drama unfold. "And when were you planning on telling me, Kendra, huh? When it was too late for me to even react? When everybody else already knew before I did?" The tension skyrocketed. Kendra's eyes welled up with tears. "Jock, stop. Don't do this right now. Not in front of everybody. This is not how I wanted this to come out. I was trying to protect you, protect us. But you're making it seem like I did something wrong?" Jock wasn't calming down. His hands waved in frustration, his voice rising with each word. "Protect me. Protect us. You're carrying a baby, and you couldn't tell me straight up? You let the whole world find out before me." "Nah, that's foul, Kendra. That's beyond disrespectful." The cast began to react, some siding with Kendra, others shocked by Jock's outburst. Rashida, always quick to give her 2 cents, leaned over to Carly and whispered, "He's losing it." "But you can't blame him. Imagine finding out like this." Carly smirked, clearly living for the drama. While Erica tried to calm Jock down from across the room, Kendra broke down crying, her voice trembling. "I didn't plan for this. I wanted it to be special, Jock. You don't understand the pressure I've been under. I was scared, okay? Scared of how you would react. Scared of what people would say. But that doesn't mean I don't want this baby. I do. I want us to have this family." Her vulnerability could have softened the moment. But Jock was too deep. In his emotions, "You robbed me of the moment, Kendra. You robbed me of knowing first. That's not something you can take back, okay? And now I look crazy in front of everybody. You didn't trust me enough to share this with me before the cameras? Before the gossip." The room grew more chaotic. Producers whispered frantically to each other, deciding whether to step in. Security edged closer in case Jock's frustration escalated, though he never crossed into physical aggression. His meltdown was purely verbal, but the intensity was undeniable. Then, as if the situation couldn't get worse, one of the castmates dropped another bomb. Carly, never one to miss a moment to stir the pot, casually said, "Well, maybe she didn't tell you because she wasn't sure how you'd react, especially since there's still talk about you and your other situations." The implication was clear, and Jock's head snapped toward her like fire. "What do you mean by that, Carly? Don't play with me right now," he shouted, his anger redirected. Kendra shook her head, covering her face in embarrassment. "This is exactly why I didn't want it like this," she sobbed. "It's because people like you, Carly, don't know how to mind your business." The energy on set was unbearable. Yandi tried to step in, urging Jock to sit down and breathe. "Jock, listen, this is not the time. It's supposed to be a blessing, not a curse. You need to process this before you ruin something beautiful." But Jock was pacing, his hands on his head, his voice breaking as he said, "I can't process anything right now. I feel blindsided, betrayed, and humiliated all at the same damn time." The camera zoomed in on Jock's raw emotion, his eyes filled with hurt, his voice cracking under the weight of betrayal. For fans watching later, it was the kind of reality TV moment that was both heartbreaking and explosive, a man completely unraveling in front of the world. As part one closed, Kendra sat alone in tears while Jock stormed out of the set, slamming the door behind him. Castmates rushed to console her while producers chased after Jock, trying to get him to cool down before the situation escalated any further. What was supposed to be a happy reveal had turned into one of the most painful and public breakdowns the show had ever seen. And little did anyone know, the drama had only just begun. Because Jock's outburst wasn't just about the pregnancy, it was about years of mistrust, unresolved issues, and secrets that were still lurking in the shadows. After storming out of the set, Jock's heavy footsteps echoed down the hallway, his voice muttering frustrations that microphones barely picked up. Cameras trailed behind him, capturing every raw second of his meltdown. He finally found a secluded dressing room, slammed the door shut, and sat down on the couch, running his hands over his face. His breathing was uneven, and his anger hadn't cooled, it had only simmered into a storm waiting to erupt again. Minutes later, Kendra walked in, her face streaked with tears, her hands shaking as she tried to steady herself. Producers had encouraged her to follow him, but this wasn't for show, this was their reality. She began softly, closing the door behind her. "Please, we need to talk." Jock shot her a glare. "Talk? Oh, now you want to talk? You had all this time to tell me, and you waited for the cameras and the whole world to find out before me." "That's not talking, Kendra, that's betrayal." Kendra sat across from him, her voice trembling. "It wasn't supposed to be like this, I swear to you, Jock. I was planning something special. I wanted to surprise you in a way that mattered, not like this, not in front of everybody. It was taken from me." He leaned forward, his elbows on his knees, shaking his head. "Don't do that. Don't act like this is just bad timing. You had weeks, maybe months, to pull me to the side and say, 'Jock, I'm pregnant.' Instead, I get blindsided in front of the whole cast and a room full of producers. You make me look like a fool." Her voice cracked. "I was scared. Don't understand the pressure I've been under. You've got kids, Jock, plenty of them. People already question me for being with you. I was worried about how this would look, how you would take it. I didn't want to add fuel to the fire when people already think our marriage is shaky." That's when Jock snapped, his voice rising. shaky. You think hiding a pregnancy makes it less shaky? Do you think keeping secrets is how we fix things? That's exactly why we're always on the rocks. If you don't trust me enough to let me in, and you care too damn much about what people out there think. Kendra's eyes widened, hurt flashing across her face. You're saying I don't trust you? Jock, how am I supposed to when every other day there's another rumor about you? Another woman? Another scandal? Another situation you can't explain? I didn't want this baby to feel like another one of your tabloid headlines. The words cut deep. Jock leaned back, folding his arms across his chest. So, that's what this is about. You didn't tell me because you don't trust me. You think I'm going to embarrass you, right? Well, newsflash, Kendra, you embarrassed me today. You made me the last person in the room to know about my own child. How do I come back from that? For a long moment, silence hung in the room. Kendra wiped her tears, trying to steady her voice. I'm sorry, Jock. I messed up. But my intentions weren't to hurt you. I wanted to protect what we have, even if it looks like I've failed at that. You may feel betrayed, but this baby is real. And whether you're angry with me or not, we have to figure out how to move forward together. Jock stared at her, torn between anger and love, betrayal and responsibility. Do you even want this baby with me? He asked, his voice softer now, though heavy with doubt. Or are you already planning to do this on your own? Her eyes filled again, but this time with resolve. Of course I want this baby with you. I want us to be a family, Jock. But I need you to step up, not just as a father, but as a partner. I need you to stop making me feel like I'm just another woman in your long list of stories. I need to feel like I'm the one. The tension shifted. Jock's anger simmered, replaced by something more vulnerable. He stood, pacing back and forth, before finally stopping in front of her. You are the one, Kendra. I wouldn't have married you if you weren't, but you keep this from me. It makes me feel like you don't believe that, Kate, like I'm not enough for you to trust with the biggest news of our lives. The moment was heavy, emotional, and raw. But just as the couple started to find a fragile understanding, the door creaked open. Rashida and Erica, who had been waiting outside, worried the confrontation might get out of hand. Y'all okay in here? Erica asked gently, her eyes scanning the emotional wreckage in the room. Kendra quickly wiped her face, embarrassed. To be seen so vulnerable? Jock turned away, muttering under his breath. Rashida, always the voice of reason when she wanted to be, stepped in. Look, y'all gotta get it together. This isn't just about you two, it's about that. Baby! Whatever issues you have, you need to fix them now before it gets worse. Trust me, I've been there. Her words carried weight. Everyone knew Rashida and Kirk's endless drama had been a cautionary tale for years. If anyone understood betrayal, public humiliation, and broken trust, it was her. Jock sighed heavily, his shoulders slumping. I hear you, Rashida. I do. But this ain't something I can just forgive overnight. It's gonna take time. Kendra reached out, touching Jock's hand lightly. And I'll give you that time. But please, don't shut me out. Don't shut our child out. We're in this together, whether you like it or not. For the first time since the chaos began, Jock didn't pull away. He didn't explode. He just sat there, quiet, processing. The room fell into a tense calm. But just when it seemed like they might have a path forward, the producers knocked on the door. We need you to back on set, one of them said cautiously. The rest of the cast is waiting. Jock groaned, shaking his head. Of course. Back to the circus. Kendra stood, straightening herself, trying to put her emotions back in check. Let's go, she whispered. Let's face this together. As they walked back toward the set, cameras following closely behind, it was clear that the drama was far from over. The cast was waiting, the questions were piling up, and the gossip was already spreading like wildfire online. If part one was the shocking reveal, part two had been the raw confrontation, the moment where truth and pain clashed. Behind closed doors, But the biggest explosion, that was still to come. Because once Jock and Kendra stepped back on that stage, the rest of the cast down the world was ready to weigh in. And the next round of drama wouldn't just test their relationship, it could shatter it entirely. The studio was still buzzing from Jock's explosion earlier, but things were about to get even messier. Word had already spread like wildfire across the love and hip-hop circle. Kendra's alleged pregnancy wasn't just some whisper. It had become the headline of the day. Blogs were already dropping stories. Fans were dissecting every clip. And the cast could feel the weight of what this revelation meant. Kendra sat in the corner of her dressing room, arms folded, eyes red. From holding back tears, her phone buzzed non-stop with messages. Some from family, some from friends, and many from strangers demanding answers. She ignored most of them, but one stood out. It was from her mother. "Is it true? Call me." That one text shattered her composure and she broke down. She knew this wasn't just about Jock anymore. Her family was now dragged into the chaos. Meanwhile, Jock was pacing the halls like a caged animal. His friends tried to calm him down, but he was past reasoning. He couldn't believe he had been blindsided like this on camera in front of the world. His trust in Kendra was already fragile, but this bombshell made him feel like everything was a lie. Kept muttering, "If she lied to me about this, what else did she lie about?" His paranoia was feeding his rage. Producers, realizing they had struck reality TV gold, were careful not to let Jock leave the set. They knew viewers would demand closure. They wanted the face-to-face Kendra versus Jock, the raw, unfiltered confrontation. And after some coaxing, Jock agreed to meet her in front of the cameras. When Kendra finally walked onto the stage, the room went silent. She looked tired, drained, and defensive. Jock stood up immediately, his energy explosive. "So you gon' stand here and act like you ain't got nothing to say?" he demanded, his voice cutting through the air. Kendra swallowed hard, her voice trembling but firm. "I wasn't ready to talk about it. I was scared. This wasn't how I wanted it to come out." Jock scoffed, throwing his hands in the air. "Scared? Nah, you weren't scared, Kendra. You were hiding it from me, the person you claimed to love. You'll let me look like a damn fool on live TV while the world finds out before I do. What kind of woman does that?" The audience gasped, whispering among themselves. Some were sympathetic toward Kendra, while others sided with Jock's anger. The tension was unbearable. Kendra, visibly shaken, snapped back. "Don't act like you some saint, Jock. Don't stand here and talk about loyalty when you've embarrassed me over and over again with your lies, your cheating, your games. I was scared you'd walk away the second you found out. Just like you've walked away from every other situation that didn't benefit you." Her words struck a chord. Jock froze, his eyes narrowing. The audience murmured louder. This wasn't just about a pregnancy anymore. This was about years of built-up resentment, mistrust, and broken promises. Young Jock stepped closer, pointing his finger at her chest. "So what you trying to say? Thought this ain't even my baby?" The entire stage erupted with shouts and gasps. Even the cast in the background leaned forward, jaws dropped. Kendra's eyes widened at the accusation, clearly hurt. "How dare you?" she whispered. "You think I would go through all this, knowing what it would do to me, to us, just to play some game? This is your baby, Jock. But the fact that you would even question that says everything about you." Jock staggered back, his anger giving way to something else: doubt, guilt, and confusion. He rubbed his face with both hands, visibly torn. "I don't even know what's real anymore. I don't know if I can trust you, Kendra. I don't know if I can do this." Kendra's face hardened. For the first time in this saga, she wasn't crying, she wasn't defensive, she was cold. "Then maybe you don't deserve to be a father to this child. Maybe this baby deserves better than a man who can't even see past his own ego." The audience gasped again, and even Rashida, sitting with her hand over her mouth, looked stunned at how brutal the exchange had become. Jock froze, her words cutting deeper than any slap could. The silence that followed was heavy, everyone waiting for what he would say next. But Jock didn't respond. He simply turned and walked off the stage, shaking his head, muttering under his breath. Kendra stood there, shaking but unbroken. The camera zoomed in on her face, capturing the pain, the defiance, and the storm that had just unfolded. Backstage, Jock slammed the door to his dressing room, refusing to speak to anyone. His friends tried to comfort him, but he was too far gone in his emotions. Meanwhile, Kendra, though visibly devastated, found strength in knowing she had spoken her truth. Whether people believed her or not, the aftermath of that episode would send shockwaves through social media. Fans immediately took sides with hashtags like #Team Kendra and #Team JOC trending within minutes. Memes, think pieces, and heated debates flooded timelines. Some accused Kendra of being manipulative. Others called Jock out for hypocrisy. And many admitted they couldn't stop watching the train wreck unfold. But behind the drama, the real question loomed. What would this mean for Jock and Kendra's future? Could their relationship survive something this explosive? And most importantly, was Jock ready to face the reality of becoming a father again? Or was this the breaking point that would end everything between them? For now, the cameras had captured the chaos, the tears, the shouting, and the silence. But the story wasn't over. If anything, this was just the beginning of a storm neither Jock nor Kendra could escape. This drama between Jock and Kendra is far from over. And you already know the fallout is only going to get messier. Secrets, accusations, and emotions. Running high, one thing's clear. This story is bigger than just a pregnancy. It's about trust, betrayal, and the breaking point of a relationship that's been on shaky ground for years. But what do you think? Is Kendra telling the whole truth about her pregnancy? Or do you believe Jock's suspicions are valid? Do you see Jock stepping up as a father? Or is this the moment that finally pushes them apart for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear whose side you're on. Make sure you hit that like button if you're locked into the CU drama. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next explosive update. Trust me, you won't want to blink. Because this story is still unraveling and the next twist could change everything. Stay tuned, because in this world of love, lies, and cameras, the truth always comes out.